I am the Queen of Zandalar, and a queen kneels to no one.
They should use their minds to save the world, instead of devising ways to tear it apart.
No, not while the Black Moon still cries out for vengeance. Not until the Horde has answered for its treachery.
The war is serving its purpose. Stay focused on the endgame. You know what is to come.
The two essential weapons of an adventurer. A bottle of good gin and a jar of tasty jam. This is Girls Gone WoW!
Hello, you are listening to Girls Gone WoW, show 692, recorded on Sunday the 5th of July 2026. I am your host Raven, and with me I have my wonderful co-host EJ. How has this week been?
So I had to go and have my eye appointment again, so they put an implant in my eye again. It's been like it's only today that it's really starting to feel like it settles down like that, which is longer than it has been previously, and I suspect it's a little bit of the weather and a little bit that it's just feeling a bit beaten up right now. But but then yesterday I went to Moorfields again, twice in a week, because I have a date for my cataract surgery, which is going to be the end of this month. So yes, they are really rocking on with trying to get me sorted, which is nice.
Yes.
Yes, it is nice. I'm very pleased it didn't land on my birthday, because at one point I was like, in fact, the nurse yesterday, she was like, oh, it's going to be your birthday soon. I said, yeah, I thought I was a bit concerned that you were going to call me in that day. And she went, oh yes, ha ha. I said, yeah, I might have turned that appointment down.
Yeah. I don't think this is something you want to spend your birthday doing, to be honest.
No. So yeah, that's mostly what this week has been about, and just a couple of slightly challenging days at work, but yeah, it's all good. Oh my god, I met the cutest little chihuahua, and it's very rare you'll hear me say that, because most chihuahuas that come to the vets want to bite your face off, but this one was adorable. It was like only a baby, maybe that's why it was so adorable. It literally got up in my face and was like having the best time. And even after because I had to give it second vax, even after I gave it second vaccination, it was like, no, I still love you. And I'm like, oh my god, you're like the unicorn of chihuahuas. We've got to that point of the year where this is the time of the year where I give a public service announcement about grass seeds.
Oh no.
If you own a dog of any description,
I was 50-50 whether that was going to be grass seeds or walking your dog in hot weather, but
no, mostly like touch wood, mostly people seem to have been mostly okay about that, but grass seed, oh my god, so many grass seeds. We had one dog in this week, it was a spaniel. They took 40 grass seeds out of its paws.
No.
Yeah, like loads of them were stuck just in its fur, because spaniels have lovely fluffy feet.
Yeah, they're very fluffy.
Yeah, she took 40. Some of them had gone 40. So yeah, if including the lady who literally said to me, "Oh yeah, so he I let him roll in the grass seeds, and now I think he's got one in his ear." And I was like,
why did you can we revisit the beginning of this sentence, please? Why did you let him roll in the grass seeds? ?
Yes.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you have a dog, please don't let it roll in grass seeds, and please check its paws and its ears and its nose and just everywhere when you get back in case there are any grass seeds on it. And if you have a cat and you have any sort of open window or balcony, please cover it in netting, don't open it up, or just secure it in some way that a cat can't. And if you think the gap is too small for your cat to get through, it is not. Cover the gap.
Yes.
There we go. That's the sort of that's the PLDR frustration of our week at work this week.
When I was on my way to see the horses this morning, I walked through some woodlands which are very popular with dog walkers. So there's a bunch of dogs that I see on a regular basis. There was a lady this morning with a dog I don't recognise, a lovely Labrador dog, that had obviously had a lovely time. You know those tiny little round sticky balls?
Oh, the little birds.
The little
things.
bird, the tiny, tiny little ones that are green.
Yes.
Yes, this Labrador had
Oh
got
no,
all
covered
of
in them. Oh.
And she had a brush and she was trying.
Oh.
I mean, she brought a brush with her on a walk, so I sort of suspect that this dog was, this was not the first time she'd had this problem. But yes, she was very valiantly attempting to remove all of these sticky balls from this Labrador, which the Labrador looked extremely happy and extremely pleased with itself. She did not look quite so happy about the situation.
Tell you about somebody else. There was somebody else who had a cat who they brought them back in for like a post-op check, and she was like, "Oh, while I'm here, can you shave my cat?" I said, "Oh, why?" And she said, "Well, because she sheds a lot of fur." And I was like,
Oh,
"No, madam, no, I cannot shave your cat because it sheds fur." I said, "We lose hair every day, so what do we do?" And she's like, "Well, we brush our hair." I said, "Yes. So what you need to do is brush your cat and hoover."
Yeah, we do a lot of hoovering in this house. We don't do huge amounts of cat brushing. We do a bit of cat brushing. The cat brushing, the client has to be in the right sort of mood in order for cat brushing to occur. Because otherwise what happens is we get cats chewing the brush. I don't mind her chewing the brush. I kind of mind her chewing me. But she's only a short hair, so she's not like Caprica, who if you didn't brush her, she used to get matted. River is in no danger of matting, so she doesn't have to be brushed, but it does make things a little bit easier because otherwise she does shed all over the place. I hoovered yesterday and there was already a light dusting of cat fur over almost every single surface in my flat.
That is the joy of pet ownership.
It is. The cat fur mixes with the horsehair. It's just one of those things. Right, that's enough about our pets. Interesting news of the week. Somehow, somebody's let it be July. I didn't sign off on that. I don't really know. Like a July was delivered, like on Wednesday. I know.
Too soon, executives?
Yeah. Way too soon. But it means the Dark Moon Fair arrives today, so you should go and get your profession points. And there's a new trading post, which is very goblin. The trading post is very, very goblin. It's not really, I would say, my jam, but I have already got my rocket mount, which is called the Bilgewater Extreme. It's very goblin. It's very goblin. Welcome to Goblin Month.
There is. I don't know if you looked through all the options, but there are a couple of staffs that they're like, like pinwheels, like the little
yeah, there are some fireworky ones. I do know why it's goblin. It's 4th of July. It was 4th of July yesterday. It was America's birthday.
Yeah, okay.
That's why it's goblin themed, so that we could do fireworks.
Yeah, the pinwheel staff. There's one in a sort of pinky purple colorway and one in a blue-green colorway. And I did have to buy both of them because it'll go with so many outfits. And the wheel goes round and round and round. It's very pleasing.
Yeah, there is a lot of firework-themed things because yesterday was 4th of July.
Yeah, like a big mace with like lots of rockets attached and so on and so forth.
I guess happy birthday, America? Brackets question mark.
Well, America is 250.
Yes, happy 250th. Semi-quincentennial.
There you go. Yes.
Yes.
Well,
good luck, or something.
250 years since since things happened.
Since
I was about to get more political than that.
yeah,
No.
let's not.
I'm going to go on to the fact that the
Yeah, let's do
turbulent
that.
time waves are live again. Yay! Complete 5 time walking dungeons on the same character each week to gain the mastery of the time waves buff, which will increase your XP from monsters and quests by 30% and persist through death. The buff is linked to an individual character, not across your warband. So you might have to decide who is going to do this, and that's who does it. The weekly linked quest rewards a heroic cache with items eye level 259 to 276. Maintain the mastery buff for any 4 weeks during the event to unlock the Master of the Turbulent Time Waves 5 achievement, which rewards the spawn of a Viranoth mount, which is a lovely big blue icy proto-drake mount. It's like spiky and glorious. So yeah, do that. It's also, if you've got any alts, like each one doing each time walking dungeon last night was awarding 100, like between 110 and 115,000 XP.
Blimey.
So it is a ridiculously easy way to get some levels if you're trying to level something.
Okay. Yes, and then finally we had a little bit of a nostalgia incident this week.
Oh, yeah.
Do you remember the corrupted blood incident where Hakar's corrupted blood debuff didn't drop off once pets left Zul'Gurun? So once they were outside the instance, they gave it to everyone, and then everybody died, including like everybody in the capital cities, players and NPCs, the whole shebang. Well, it happened again, but obviously this time everybody knew what was going on. So players on Moonguard in North America discovered that if players from the Brackenhide Hollow dungeon left with the Withering Contagion debuff on them, they could spread it to other players by standing next to them. They got Silvermoon, Shadowwind, dear me, Stormwind and Goldshire were sites of infection until somebody hotfixed it. Blizzard were pretty quick off the mark on this one, but yeah, little nostalgia trip back to the corrupted blood incident for everybody this week. It's nice.
Yes. So yes, because of course that's one of the dungeons that's coming up in the time walking at the moment, which is why
yes, which is why everybody was in there. Yes, spreading everything about. Right, well, let's move on to our topic for the week. 12.0.7 dropped about 3 weeks ago, so now we're going to have a little bit of a chat about everything that dropped. How do you feel about the pattern? And how do you feel about the pattern of content that certain patches seem to now regularly drop? I can read. It's amazing. I can read. I'm quite warm today. So
I think it's got a bit muggy, like a bit more humid since we started talking.
Yeah, the humidity today is kind of is not great. I think it's ramping itself up for tomorrow. Oh, current humidity 69. That seems like quite a lot.
Unnice.
No, exactly. So in 12.0.7, this was a sort of, I mean, it was a 0.7 patch, so it wasn't a big patch or anything, but we got the Nagatal and Val zones in normal and for the first time heroic versions, with rotating access between the two zones, so you can only get one at a time. Increased drops of that currency that nobody needs, war-bound champion and heroic cash boxes purchasable from the NPCs, so sort of standard stuff really. We got the omnomnomnomnom folio, which is a buff that will last for the whole expansion. There's new decor items every week, and there's just 5 weeks of weekly quests to do in order to pop that up. There's not it's, well, I guess we'll get to it in a minute. The Sporeful raids has one boss raid in Harrendar.
In the Grudge Pit.
In that bit at the bottom of the Harrendar, in that Grudge Pit area of Harrendar. Next week, Tuesday/Wednesday, we'll get some new story about Zul'Jan and the Armani trolls. There's a bit more lore walking to do with Assistant Lore Walker Lily about the Lower. Assistant Lore Walker Lily will tell you about the Lower.
It's all grown up.
Yeah, try saying that 3 times after a glass of wine. Turbulent Timeways is here. Yes, the Darkspear Dash, I think we probably talked about last week.
Yes.
And then there were updates to the ritual sites and to void incursions, and there were some quality of life changes to gear and drops and abundance runs. So, like, there's some stuff. Not loads of stuff, but a bit of stuff. How are you finding the stuff, EJ? How are you finding new zones?
Well, how do I find new zones? You know what? So I think they're good for what I think they're designed for. And what I think they're designed for is for leveling alts.
Yeah, okay.
Or if you've literally got nothing else to do and you've got a couple of bits of like heroic, you've got a couple of slots where you still need some heroic, you can go and bash out and get some field accolades and buy yourself a
Like a
cache for the relevant for the relevant slot. So so I think they're good for, and this is the thing about as far as I'm concerned, this is the thing about a 0.7 patch. I think 0.7 patches are always about gearing your alts up or trying to fill in the gaps where you might have little gaps on some of your characters, and this one very much fills that box. I feel like, and I don't. No, I think it must be. I think Najtal is like twice the size of Val, and I don't know if Val, because we've had Najtal twice now and Val once, and I don't know if once we get Val back next week, if we're going to get access to like more of it, because it sort of feels like there might be like some bits higher up that we can't quite access at the moment.
Okay.
And I don't know if that's just me being very like wishful thinking, but it sort of just feels like we're not able to move around it as well as we've been able to move around. And it also would seem really weird. Why would you make one zone like literally only feel about a third of the side of the other zone? It's a weird setup. I think I prefer Najatal simply because I find in Val, it's very easy for a whole load of things to suddenly spawn on top of you and you to get super overwhelmed in like 12 seconds and there's nowhere to hide. My poor characters have been mown down several times because literally like 5 things suddenly pop up from nowhere and you're like, where the bloody hell did you guys come from? And there's some roaming, both of the zones have some roaming elites. And they roam in like a pack of 3 and sometimes they split apart. And in Najatal, you can like they'll follow you for a really, really, really long way. Like they'll follow you like halfway across the zone, but they will eventually drop. You run out of space to run away from them in Val, and you just get murdered. I think I wish the I don't like the jumping quests.
No.
Like one of the joys about WoW is I don't have to be good at jumping quests.
It's not a fucking platformer. Like, this aspect of Najatal I do not like at all. My heart sinks a little bit every time I pick up a world quest and it's like, and now you have to bounce on a mushroom. Like, I don't want to bounce on a mushroom. Thank you.
I've got better with like the ones where you have to get up on the mushrooms and touch the spore at the top. I found a way of doing that.
Yeah.
And the only problem with those is sometimes you've got this like slingshot and it's supposed to like slingshot when you're near a mushroom. And sometimes it's like, I can't see the mushroom. You're like, I can see the mushroom. Why can't you see the mushroom?
Yeah.
But
the grappling hook thing.
The thing that really annoys me is the one, there's this quest that's got like 4 green orbs and you have to
and you have to slingshot yourself through them. Yeah, no, don't like that.
That one can die in a fire.
Yeah,
like, literally, I hate that one.
Yeah, did that twice today.
Especially, particularly the one that's in the middle of the zone where it's got a rock and then there's a gap in the rocks and then there's a second rock. And actually, what you have to do is you need to walk backwards off the first rock, jump backwards to get onto the second rock, so that you're far enough back to fling through everything. But you end up falling down the hole in the rock. That one, don't like that one. But as places to level alts, like literally, I've run out of characters to level.
Okay.
Like with ever since this dropped, I've managed to level everybody mostly through just rotating through the quests. And if you run out of quests, if you've done everything that's currently up, I go back to Silver Moon and go and do a few world quests, and within about 15 minutes, a whole load of new quests have spawned. So I could just lava, rinse, repeat. So and virtually every quest you finish gives you a piece of armor that's an upgrade. So for characters that were super undergeared when I got in there, like they might have had 100 eye level points. Like they were so undergeared.
Right. Okay.
Because obviously, because they're the characters that literally at the beginning of an expansion, I take them out, I level them, and then they go to the bar for the rest of the
Yes.
expansion until I have to see you next time, or until I need a particular character because there's a weird quest that only can be done on that sort of character, or
Yeah.
one of those things, or a decor item probably these days that actually you need to have done something for. But actually they're all like, they've all come out of this experience, and then being able to use the field accolades to buy gear, they're all sort of 230, 240 geared, which
Okay.
I like is pretty good.
Yeah. Okay.
So yeah, I mean,
Have you have you tried the heroic?
yes. So I took so my warlock, who's my best geared character, she went in and did heroic. Now they reckon, I think when you hover over it, I think it says recommended like 270 eye
Yeah, it says
level.
274, I think.
Yeah, or 274. So she
Yeah.
has 277.
Okay.
So she's only just into that. That character has not died as much as she has ever.
Okay.
Like,
All right.
literally, it's been very easy for her to get like things will be fine, and then something else will suddenly, like, I'll be
Yeah.
on top of it and something will like get cast into my sphere of whatever it is I'm doing, and then I'm like, oh no, this went terribly wrong. And sometimes I don't even know why it went wrong. I'm just yeah. So she has, it is a step up. It's been a nice challenge. Mostly it's been frustrating. I think the only reason it's been frustrating is because I still think the repair costs are ridiculously high. Like, yeah, I just think the repair costs are ridiculous right now. But the challenge is good. And I'd
Okay.
sort of forgotten that the last few times I've taken her out, I've been doing this heroic content. So I took her out today and did some other stuff, and everything was just melting, and I'm like, what happened? Did I get supercharged? And then I'm like, oh no, this is because you're not in heroic. So no, I really like that it's there. You can't do it until you're like 90. So when you're leveling your character, you only have the option to go into normal.
Normal one.
But no, I really like the idea that there's an extra level of challenge. I thought that was, and this is the perfect way of testing something like that, because it's not big important content. Like there's story there, don't get me wrong, there are, there's some important sort of Draenei story happening in Najatal, and there's some Dominator, is that what we're calling them? Dominar stuff going on in Val.
Yeah, because you're popping around with Decimus.
Yes. No, I've lost the thread. There was something probably very profound I was going to say, and I've lost it. No, heroic. Heroic, I think, is great. I think this is the perfect. Oh, okay. Yes, so this is sort of inconsequential content. So actually, it's a really good place. It's not like anybody's going to be like, I can't do this, and I feel like I'm missing out on the story or what's happening in Midnight. Like if somebody's like, I can't do the heroic content, it's like, yeah, you just won't get a bigger repair bill. Don't worry about it. And obviously there's a couple of achievements. Like a couple of the achievements have been a bit irritating.
Yeah,
a couple of the achievements were a little bit irritating, but nothing was terrible. Like the storms that you have to deal with, they come up pretty often. Now that they've changed the rares, that's better. Okay, that was the most irritating thing, because when it launched, the rares didn't have a spawn
yeah, the little sort of the little sort of zoning in timer that they had is quite good, isn't it? So yes, it's it gives you enough time, because they die super quickly. Or at least I'm only eye level 264, so I'm only doing it on normal at the moment. And I've only been to Najatal because I didn't go to because Val happened in the super hot week and I couldn't possibly bear turning the computer on. So
very sensible.
Yeah, so I've only been to Najatal, but I'm glad that they fixed this sort of the spawn timer thing. It's quite nice now because you do genuinely have long enough to hear the like, awooga, there is a rare, and for rare scanner to go, hello, there's a rare, and you do now have enough time to get there, and it'll still be waiting, and it's little sort of it's quite funny because they sit in a sort of semi-transparent state. It's like they're like,
I'm almost here, I'm zoning in,
yeah,
here I come,
here I come, ready or not. And we usually are ready, and they die very quickly.
This is what we look like when we're using our
like teleporters, yeah,
hearthstones. This is what we look like.
Yeah.
If anybody walks past and we're using our hearthstones, they're like, "What are they doing?"
Yeah,
like,
what are they?
The hearth thing. Yeah.
Semi-transparent, but no, it's quite good. It's quite good. I did discover today, though, annoyingly, like there's a couple of rares in Najatal that are not on the rare, that are not part of the achievement.
Oh yeah, so there's a big spore bat, like one of those spore bats that isn't really a bat. It's the one with all the flappy arms. And there's another one over there as well.
Yeah, I was like, oh, I killed a rare.
They're sort of they're rares, but they're not part of any rare achievement or whatever.
It's not like a real rare. It's like a fake rare.
No.
I was like, oh, okay.
They do drop.
I mean, it drops stuff. Like yeah, exactly. It feels like somebody just like maybe missed a line off the achievement like tracker. I don't know. It's just like,
don't tell them. Don't tell anyone.
Like,
but actually, interestingly, those rares come up more often than the others.
Right. Okay.
So they're not on the same
pretend.
They're not on the same schedule.
Less rare.
Yeah, maybe they're intern rares.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. They're still training up, so they have to be killed more often. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yes.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
So yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So I mean, I've not seen Val. Najatal seems fine. The quests are pretty boring for the most part. I mean, it's not like revolutionary content. I am not enjoying the bouncy mushroomness in Najatal. I just like, don't give me a ridiculous navigating system that only sometimes works, and a grappling thing that sometimes grapples and sometimes doesn't grapple, and frequently just sort of, it's like, oh, there's nothing you are not close enough. Well, I just flew fucking through it, but okay, fine. I was fine. Don't give me an unreliable transit system. It's super irritating.
I sort of don't understand why the mushrooms didn't work like the grapple points in Stormheim.
Yeah.
Like we've had
if they were
grappling
actually
technology and that
grapple
worked.
Points.
Yes.
Lots of video games have grapple points. Actual grapple points are fine. But no, that's not how it works at all. It's much more frustrating.
It'll still be the mushrooms and the vines, because you'll be like, oh, we haven't got enough metal, so we'll just like lasso ourselves in a sort of grappling, or these vines
Indiana
have got, like,
Jones
big spikes
style.
on them.
Yeah.
So it's like, these huge spikes will spike into the mushrooms, and you're like, great, you've explained why this works as a grapple. Everyone's happy, but no. Instead it's this like, you might be and sometimes you have to be super close to them for them to see them, and sometimes you can be like literally like 2 mushrooms away, and they'll be like, oh, that one over there, and it suddenly like, drags you over.
I got yoinked in completely the wrong direction. I was like, and I go from this one to that one, and my character went that way, and I was like, oh. Okay, all right, I guess we live over here now.
And there's also, we're never going to shut up about these mushrooms. Sorry, everyone.
They're
There's also
terrible.
mushrooms where you've got the bouncy mushrooms, and it bounces you into the underside of another mushroom,
Yeah.
and then you're like,
Yeah.
I didn't want to do that.
No, not enjoying the unreliable mushroom transit system. But otherwise, the zones are just kind of zones. Sorry, did I what?
Did you know that you can grapple onto those skiffs that are flying around?
Oh god, I hate the fucking skiffs. I really okay.
So you know the ones that are just sort of like vaguely flying around in the air. You can grapple onto them. You can grapple onto them if they're close enough.
Oh well, that's exciting. That skiff
and they all take
quest,
different routes.
That skiff quest.
Oh, that skiff
can
quest,
go
yes.
fucking die in a fire. I don't understand.
Really good.
I don't understand why it takes 15 seconds for the skiff to launch, because nothing in WoW ever takes that long. It's long enough that you're like, okay, I'm bored now, and you start like your attention starts wandering, or you have have a quick look at your phone to see if anybody's messaged you, and then you're like, oh shit, hang on, we're doing it now. And yeah, either it's fine, or it takes me like 4 skiffs to get through it, because like everything's like, those cannons are really hardcore, and actually they get through your skiff's health like really, really quickly. I don't like it. I don't like the skiff quest. It's terrible. No,
it either works really nicely. So if there's somebody else who's got in the skiff at the same time as you, so there's this couple of skiffs going round, actually some of their kills count as your kills, so then it's quite good and it sort of goes through it quite quickly. If it's just you, it can take a while.
Yeah, it's a really bad quest. Really bad quest. There were quite a few, and I was finding quests quite buggy yesterday when I was, not yesterday, Friday when I was doing them. I was finding it quite annoyingly buggy, and I had a quest that didn't have like a time, like it didn't say that it was about to run out. Usually WoW quests have there's 5 minutes remaining. Like it didn't say that it was about to run out, but I got most of it done, and then it just like despawned, and I was like, oh, did I step out of the zone? And then like, no, I hadn't stepped out of the zone, and it then respawned, because usually what happens is the same quests that were there just respawn, because there are only so many quests. But it had lost all of my progress, so I had to basically do it twice. And I was like, oh, this is just super annoying.
Yeah. So yeah, I've noticed this in the last few days, is that what it'll do is, instead of going to 0 and then immediately vanishing, it'll go to 0 and then it lurks for like 20 or 30 seconds.
Oh.
So then it looks like it's at the start of its timer. So you're like, oh, I'll go and do that, and then it drops. And then it drops. Like, oh, I guess it was. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
A weird way with how they're dropping off. So.
Okay. So the zones. Yeah.
It's fine.
Are fine. The zones are fine. We think the zones are fine. How is your omnomnomnomnomnom folio?
So the thing about the omnomnomnomnom folio, and I'm very pleased that you read all the nom-noms that I put on the show notes, is that I have to put a note reminding myself to go over there.
Oh, you see, you need midnight routine, because it pops up a little thing and tells you what to do every week.
Because last week I forgot to go and get it. So I went off and I did my ritual sites, because I do my 2 ritual sites for the quest. So I went off and I did that, and I came back and I was like, oh, the omnomnomnom. So off I went to Omnomland, and our favourite boys said, hi, can you go
do
run
a
some
ritual
sites? And I'm like, you absolute, I've just done that.
Yeah.
And then this week they wanted me to go and run 5 void assaults, and I'm like, I'm really going off you two. Like, I was shipping you two quite hard, but I'm going off you.
Yeah.
It'll be over in a couple of weeks, and then I'll have this permanent buff. I like it when so I've taken the buff that does in the first line, I've taken the orbs that come up. So I love it, because sometimes I run up to something and all these like void orbs shoot out of my character or around my character, and I'm like, oh, that's very exciting. I think next week is the more exciting. So I think next week will be week 4, and I think that's exciting because that's when we get an actual another set of choices. Obviously, this week it was like, here is the one thing you can have. You're like, oh, I'll have that one, thanks. I think we get 4 choices next week, so
Oh.
that might be quite exciting.
Yeah.
I quite like these sort of things because it's a little bonus that you get. You don't have to do a lot of work for it. I just need to remember to go and pick the quest up.
Yeah, they're
I
not
suppose
super.
just-
It's not super conveniently located.
Is there not a portal? Why? He gave me a
Oh.
portal initially off that little. Even if I
Yeah.
had to go to that little balcony
Yeah, you could have just
where
left it
I
there.
originally went to see
Yeah.
Romoth, why can I not? Why do I not have a portal? Why do I have to fly all the way to the other end of the island? That's just me whinging about having to fly.
And
somewhere.
then once you get to the fucking thing, it's like, and now they're all the way at the other end of the library. I feel like it was a like endless stream of warlock gates. As people are trying to like not have to run all the way down the fucking corridor because it's like a really long run.
Can't see the corridor for the warlock gates.
For warlock gates. Okay,
Yeah.
all right. Yeah. So it's quite
yeah,
annoyingly
I'm looking
located.
forward to getting. No, I'm looking forward to getting that piece of decor. I think that's going to look.
Yeah, it's going to be very
lovely
pretty.
in my-
Yeah.
That'll go in Horde House in her library. That'll be another great addition to her library. So yeah, I like that. I like the fact that the boys are I like the fact that we've given the boys something to do together as they're mending their relationship.
Yes, they've been working well together. Yep.
And see, it's not just us.
No.
Tiff in chats did exactly the same thing.
Yeah.
So yeah. No, the omnom is fine. I like something that is. I don't mind a borrowed power thing when it's like this because I think it's just a nice little bonus. It's not just you, love. It's. So yeah, I like a nice little one. This, it doesn't. It's not going to make anybody feel overpowered, but it's a nice little bonus, and I'm not going to turn down a nice little bonus.
I do think it's good that it's only 5 weeks. I don't like it because some of the previous kind of borrowed power type things have been endless, like collecting of jam and then speccing a thing, and that's super irritating. But 5 weeks and not too many decisions to make is quite a nice kind of compromise. It's also, you can do it on catch up. So obviously I missed a couple of weeks and I was able to do all 3 weeks today.
Oh, that's good.
So
That's good. I didn't know that. So that's nice. you can just do that. I hadn't started anything really before Thursday, on account of the unseasonable weather that was occurring. So it just as soon as you finish 1 week, they're like, "Would you like the next quest?" Sure. Please.
And I was glad I thought to do it before I'd done my ritual sites because that was that was the thing. So the next up is the Sporeful raid. Have you raided the raid?
I've done much Sporeful. There's two toys that drop out of the raid. So my latest, like, added to my list of things to do is everybody goes to Sporeful once a week. I have come so close to winning those toys so many times. I have yet to win them. I shall be running the raid until I win the toys.
Okay.
So, and the great thing is, because it's only one boss, like, most of those queues don't take very long.
Yeah, it took me. So on Friday night, Thursday night, I queued for Sporeful LFR and also for Chimeras LFR. And I had to queue for 20 minutes as a healer.
That's weird.
I put it in for heals or DPS, and I was in that queue for 20 minutes. And I was like,
did it pop as heals?
It did pop as heals. I thought it was extremely rude.
That is very weird.
I thought it was very rude.
I had 1 20-minute queue, so everybody did it today. I had 1 20-minute queue. That was the longest queue, and obviously I only queue as deeps. The rest of them were probably popping in like 5 to 10 minutes. So, like, I was just poddling around, like picking up world quests and stuff, or doing a little bit of mining or herbing or something. So yeah, no, I like it. I like I like these little one boss raids. I think it's great. I actually went and killed it. I found a group through LFG and did it on normal to just tick that off. that's when I found out that the raid doesn't award you a little statue. I wanted a little statue to go with my collection of little
Oh.
statues. Because like
Oh.
everything, like Chimeras gives us a little statue. Why does this one not give us a little statue? It does give
Oh.
you a sort of mushroom. It does give you a piece of housing decor, which is like a little
Oh.
mushroomy thing.
Oh.
But it's not a statue like all the other statues we've had so far. So I was a bit sad about I'm quite sad about my lack of I built a statue. I built a trophy case. You gave me housing. I built a trophy case. Where's my trophy? That would be my one criticism of it.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Yes.
There we go. Have you done the law walking? I haven't done it yet. I have no time.
No, we're sort of now getting into the I had actually I'm very sorry, Lily. I had forgotten about Lily's lower adventures. So having written the show notes today, I will tomorrow on my day off, I will go and see Lily.
Fair enough. I just haven't had time. So I remembered I could see her on my map, and I was like, oh, I think she's got a new thing, but I just haven't.
Where she is? Where is she?
Well, you can see her on the Silver Moon. Well, there's a little thing. There's a thing on the Silver Moon map that's got like law walking. It's a little book. Do you remember the book?
Oh, okay. All right. I probably need to look at
law walking
map a bit closer. Right. Okay.
It's sort of in the middle on the right where everything else is.
It's probably one of those cases of like everything sat on top of each other.
Yeah, it's quite close to where the prey icon is. So it might be that that sort of enormous prey icon might be covering it up or something.
Yes, Alistor is.
I mean,
yeah, I don't think we should have Alistor and Lily close to each other. I don't think that's a good idea.
I don't think she's in Murder Row, but I think she's sort of over that way somewhere. I don't know. But yeah, I did. So I have done a bit of So I've done most of the things. I mean, I don't do turbulent timeways. I didn't do the dark spear dash because I don't have a hoardie. I feel like I've done most. I feel like I've had a go at most of these things, and it's fine. I mean, as patches go, it's fine. I don't have much to say about it, really.
It's met my expectation for a 0.7 patch, and my expectation, as I said earlier, my expectation for a 0.7 is I'm going to be able to level my alts and probably fill in some gear slots if I've got some spaces, and it's also going to give me a little bit of breathing space to perhaps catch up on some other stuff. So I've sort of been I was like, right, okay, now is the time to work out who I want to get the fused vitality for via the abundance, so that I can get them their very posh profession hat, or I might actually be able to get round to sort of doing some housing, which I really haven't had a chance.
I know, there's been very little time, hasn't there?
To do. I would like to do. In fact, today was the first day, because there was a whole load of new housing decor that dropped with the patch, and I just hadn't had a chance to go and look at it. So actually, I finally started paying. I've got a housing add-on, and every time I go somewhere, there's just this little line in my chat going, there are 3 vendors with several uncollected items. And I'm like, okay, I'll go and do them. So I went and spent quite a lot of gold on some paintings in Silver Moon today. I hadn't realised you could buy these paintings, and I went and spent a lot of gold on paintings. But now I can have my own art gallery. Art
is expensive, so yeah.
So the first vendor I went to, each of these paintings was 5,000 gold. Next to him, he's got a lady who's selling hers for only 1,500.
Oh, okay.
So you can have some. Yes, there is art for
lesser people. If
yes.
Okay.
So I went and picked some art up, and then I realised that actually there's one piece that I haven't got from the prey guy. So I was like, okay, so I need to go and do a little bit more prey to get some more of those things. So yeah, I'm at that point where everybody's in a sort of good place for anything they want to do. And that's what I think the 0.7 is. I think I cannot remember. I was reading something today, some people talking about about sort of our expectations of content. And what I think the point 7 patches are there for is, do you want to be in WoW but you don't really know, like you've run out of all the things you wanted to do, you're up to date with everybody, well, here's some stuff to keep you entertained, go and do it. But actually, it's okay if you don't do everything.
Yeah, it's not a bad patch to sit out if
And
you've
it's
if you've got a bit if you've got a bit over
if you're
WoW.
or you're busy, or
Yeah.
you've got some other things you want to do. And I think I think because of the way WoW has been in the past, and I think for some of us it's going to take us a very long time to retrain our brains that we don't have to do everything.
Yeah.
We don't have to do every bit of content, but and also that doesn't mean that we're going to be left behind, because obviously there was a time if you didn't do everything that they dropped, you were massively behind. But actually, you could not do any of this and you would probably be fine.
Yeah. Right, well, why don't we find out what everybody else is making of things, and start with the lovely Salmis.
This is Salmis reporting in for this week's topic, 12.0.7 Revelations. Revolutions? Revulsions? I'm finding the content of this patch to be a mixed bag. Some things are pretty cool, some things are pretty meh. What's that term going around? Mid-core. Jury is out on the omnomnomnom folio. I'm enjoying the visible effect of launching void bubbles, but can't really tell if it makes much of a difference. We still have 2 weeks of unlocking runes, so it might still be something fun and not just completely forgettable. The story of the finding and repairing of the Omnion is pretty cool. Having to find images of Kael'thas, his dad, King Anastarion, and Dark Kondrathir was a fun arcane blast from the past. It was also a blast to fight and defeat the normal Sporefall raid with ritual healing. Heroic hasn't fallen yet, but I'm sure we'll get around to it. Before getting into Val and Nigtal as zones, I do want to call out the very nice gear options they added on the Field Accolades vendor. Last patch, the options were random. Now they have given us more choice of what gear slots we can specify for champion and hero gear. They do take grinding, but it helps me to have goals to work towards. The fact that I can purchase a cache of gear on one character and pass it to another in my warband is brilliant. The zones are funky, but they're slowly growing on me, especially the fungal one. Now that I've unlocked the teleport pads in Shroomville, it is feeling less onerous to get around. It helps that I can use them to start leveling more alts from 80 to 90, gear them up a little as I do, and have a way to work towards even better gear they can use once they get to 90. I've just started using the time-walking dungeons to level my Demon Hunter tank. So far the dungeons are not super hard, but it helps to remember the mechanics. Seeing as crafting can be used to help create some relevant gear with 80 heroic or mythic crests, getting those crests is now something I'm very interested in. So far I've used tier 11 delves to get a trickle of mythic crests. Now the tier 6 ritual sites can award them, and they are repeatable. While I haven't yet been able to finish one, the last fight is just too hard for the moment. Later on, this may be helpful. Eventually. I'm still looking forward to exploring the next chapter of the story with Zul'Jin. The decision to hold the story for 3 weeks after the patch launch is curious. While I'm glad to not have to wrestle with system changes while trying to absorb the story, the fact that their marketing materials have spoiled the following chapter before I can see the current one is strange. Speaking of troll stories, I took my Zandalari shaman to apprentice lorewalker Lili. The chapters were quite good, and it's nice to have more of their lore featured. I did find a couple of fights in the stories a little overtuned, and had to resurrect a couple of times, but I was able to push through. It's not often that a book I'm reading tries to fight me to keep its pages from turning. But that's our World of Warcraft. Salmis out.
Sounds like you've had a good
Thanks,
time with sounds like you've had a good time with Lili. We'll have to get around to that this week. And yes, it is a little bit of a shame that their marketing has got a bit ahead of itself.
Yeah, I feel very bad for anybody who really tries to protect themselves from the story. And then like Blizzard have literally shot us in the foot with that one.
Yeah.
You know, like what's this? And if you don't know what we're talking about, we won't tell you.
We won't
Just
tell you,
sort of
no.
avoid anything until you've done. Don't go and look at anything that might have been released until you have done the stuff with Zul'Jan this week.
Yeah.
Yes.
Indeed. Stilgar says, the fact I've been to one of the new zones on the first week and not really played my level 90 since says it all, really. I'm more annoyed with these mini patches and their non-content grinds. Instead of making me excited about new things, they make me feel like WoW tries to be a chore and tries to lure me in with achievements and transmogs and mounts and all those +1 things. I'll catch up on it at some later point and get the meta achievement stuff and whatever else looks okay at the time. Right now, there's greener pastures in other games for me. I think that's the key lesson, Stilgar. It's okay to go somewhere else for a bit if you want to.
Absolutely. Ams says, I find both Val and Najtal really irksome. Could have done without it, but I was keen to just get the meta cleared while it's current and be done with it whilst there's football there. Can't imagine it being a lot worse when there's less people around. Zero enjoyment for me, though. The omnomnomnom seems pointless, but doing the quest has felt relatively effortless because I was actually planning on doing all of the things it's needed so far. The tier 6 rituals is something I personally could have done without, but I'm doing 2 a week to progress the quest chain. Not something I'll return to after that, though. Sporefall again I could have done without, but I'm going to do 4 of them for the mount. The point of lower daycare went over my head. Oh yeah, I completely forgot to add that in. Yeah, we're supposed to be doing some stuff for the
Yeah.
we're supposed to be hatching hatchling phoenixes.
Dragon hawks. Yeah, I stumbled into that. And I did
Hello, Sophie.
Hi, Snowfie. I was over in that part of Zulaman doing something else, and I picked up a quest that I thought was the quest for the something else that I was doing, and then I was like, "Why is this man handing me a dragonhawk egg? What's going on? Why am I doing this?" So there's a short quest chain, and I assume there'll be more of it. I don't know. It wasn't in any way signposted. It was just like a thing.
Whereabouts in Zulaman is it?
It's at the top. And
like the temple right at the top.
Yeah, it's at the temple right at the top. So I was up there because I was doing my void assault. So it's where the void assault is. And
yes, with where you fly through the jellyfish.
Maybe.
Fly through the.
It's also where the
and then you defeat a big jellyfish.
I can't tell the void assaults apart. I don't know which one I did where, but probably. It's also where the bucket is, not the candy bucket. We're at the wrong time of year. The midsummer bonfire. The fiery
bonfire.
thing. Yeah. It's right up there.
I think that must be that. Yeah, I think that's that temple at the top. Yeah. The quest line only has a few parts and ends with getting a dragonhawk pet.
And then you get a pet.
Great. Lovely. Okay, right. Okay, things for me to do. I'd completely forgotten about.
I was like, how is there a yellow question mark here? How is there a yellow question mark here I've not ever done before? What's going on here? Yeah, it was very confusing because I thought I was doing something else. Because it's very confusing if you're doing it at the same time as the void assault is on. It's just a bit of a mess.
Oh yeah,
it's quite messy. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So Ams continues. Not sure if I missed something, but it felt like something they accidentally forgot to add to the Sojourner.
Yes, it did feel a bit like that. Yeah.
The Dragonflight time walking also felt a bit random. It doesn't feel like it's been long enough to have those in the rotation, but the mount is hella cool and I want. I also loved the Shadow Flame Druid set on the new vendor. Those Shadow Flame wing shoulders are to die for.
I haven't
looking those up.
I haven't observed that as yet.
I've done the time walking dungeons on an alt and will be doing nothing bar a single weekly time walking dungeon on it until I have the mount. I'm semi looking forward to the Zul'Jan story beat. All in all, with the mounts, 6 out of 10. Without the mounts, 1 out of 10 for me. felt like this patch could have been an email, and I'll be on the do them very minimum to get the messes involved and walk away.
Yeah, and I think that's fine. Nigel says, the new zones are a bit meh for me. I'm doing them for long enough to get my one mythic piece since I don't do mythic raids or dungeons, but otherwise they're just there, I guess. Like a lot of the content now, I'm doing specific things for certain goals and achievements and then dropping them.
Pardon me. Phoenix Heart says, they're dropping too much irrelevant shit too fast, and I'm just meh on the entire thing right now. I'm experiencing some pretty high WoW ennui right now. I walked into Val and I was just bored. They need to add one thing per tiny patch, not 5 to 6 meh things. If it was just Val and Najatal, it might have been better.
I do think Blizzard are in a very difficult... I mean, I've said this many, many, many times. They're in a very difficult place. I think it's very difficult to keep everyone happy. And I do feel like I can certainly see the arguments that some of this content is kind of phoning it in. There's like the world quests in Najatal are not particularly interesting. The story beat of how you get there and stuff is fine. But it does feel like it's like a lot of stuff has come out quite quickly that's maybe not completely fully formed. But I think we all need to sort of reset what we want from the game, or reset our expectations around what is or what is not possible. I would rather they ditch these smaller patches and just did more consequential, like 0.5 patches, and didn't do 0.7 patches, but I don't play the game as much as some other people do. I just think it's really difficult to find the balance. They've got so many people playing in so many different play styles, and I think the subscription, your monthly sub, remains kind of an albatross around the neck, really. They're clearly still making enough money from it for it to be worthwhile doing it. They're not going to go free to play. But equally, it means there's got to be some content. If you want people to keep paying you, you've got to give them something to do.
Yeah. And, from my point of view, because I've got some alts and I've got some various things I want to do, I quite like the 0.7, because when I see a 0.7 coming, I'm like, okay, I'll want to do the achievements, because I like, those achievements are usually pretty easy to knock out, and everyone likes a win. And I can probably get some stuff leveled that I wouldn't get leveled otherwise. So for me, I always see the 0.7s as a win, because I already know when I see a 0.7 on the horizon, that's my catch-up time.
Yeah.
So yeah, for me they work. Is it always the most engaging content? No, absolutely not. Like, these are sort of literal cookie cutter quests. But the story stuff is still interesting. Like, the story stuff behind the omnomnomnom was interesting. The story stuff as to what we're doing is, it's all still...
Yeah, I mean, it did also come around super, 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 super fast. Like, if we were just approaching the launch of 12.0.7 this week, which is when we're now getting this story beat in with Zul'Jan, like, that might have felt a little bit better. But it's kind of like, why did you drop it? Like, why are we already on week 3 of this content? Like, I haven't finished the other content yet. It's just a bit frustrating. But anyway, somebody who's less frustrated than I think the rest of us. Hi everyone, it's me, Rack. I'm really enjoying this patch all round. The new zones are a lot of fun. I like Najatal way more than Val. Val actually makes me feel a little claustrophobic. In fact, the more I think about it, I don't like Val at all. Val is total butts. I'm thriving in Najatal though. Dragonflight time walking has been so much fun. I think between Dragonflight just might seriously have been my favourite expansion in the game. And revisiting zones I haven't seen for a minute, like Halls of Infusion or Blackenhide Hollow, and running them through like a crazy person, pulling lots of mobs and pancaking them, has been a total blast. I kind of want a Dragonflight remix now. Gosh, too soon, executors. Too soon.
Right, totally with you. In the future, I think Dragonflight remix will be awesome.
Yeah.
But Not right now.
Yeah, maybe give us 5 minutes. I like the omnomnomnomnom folio questline too, and there's been a little bit of variation in that, what we have to do each week to power it up. I'm really hoping next week it sends me on delves or prey. I think I could have asked for anything else out of this patch. It would have been another month with an increased drop rate on mounts and loot in old dungeons like we had last summer. I missed out on that and I'm anxious for another go round. Maybe the 12.1.7 patch it'll come back. Anyway, I hope you all have a lovely week. Okay, so one person's happy.
But I'm reasonably happy.
Yeah, you and
Rack. Yeah,
you and Rack are happy.
Yeah, you're right about the claustrophobia with Val, because you've got these huge walls of ice, and you're going down some quite narrow passages to get to places, and there's lots of like ice at sort of like exciting jagged edges, and there's like ice caves and stuff. So no, you're right about the claustrophobia, absolutely. Pastor Matt says, I haven't been playing WoW very much, and when I have, I've mostly done older type stuff like holiday bosses and professions. That said, I did try Nagital once and did the first omnomnomnomnom quest, and those were pretty fun. There you go, Pastor Matt's also having fun.
Okay, mostly elsewhere, but that's also fine. Cora Wolf says, I liked Val, but Nagital feels off, possibly because of the here, have a bouncing platform game mechanic. Yep. They're okay for the end of a season patch. Unsurprisingly, the Clothies find heroic mode tough, while Cora Wolf just piles through, wondering when things will get challenging. I like the normal/heroic options. Hopefully we'll get more of this, but the design team needs to try and find a path to challenge the tank plate classes without making things impossible for the squishier ones. Yeah, I think there's an extent to which if you're playing stuff solo, this concept of heroic needs to be a bit tailored. Like it needs to be, it's going to be really, really difficult to find one level that's going to work for everyone.
Yeah, because obviously the previous time we saw this was in Lemix, but the reason it worked so well in Lemix is because you were constantly powering up.
Yeah, you had all the
and so
extra
you made yourself more and more powerful, and then you were just like obliterating everybody, which is the joy of the remix formula, which just wouldn't translate to normal WoW. But yeah, I mean, gosh, if I'd had a pet paladin coming out with me, we would have blown the whole place up.
Yeah.
Like I didn't do too bad, but I did die more than I have for ages. So yeah, but I think overall, I'm going to say out of that, I think that comes out as a 6 out of 10 if you take everybody's feedback in. I would put it a little bit higher than that, but I think overall that sounds like a 6 out of 10.
And if this patch isn't for you, cool. Now's a really good time to catch up with I don't know, the new James Bond game, or
everybody's playing that.
Yeah, or getting ready for GTA 6, which might happen at some point this year. Who knows?
Well, and take out a small mortgage for GTA 6.
Or finishing that Cyberpunk 2077 run that you've been planning on getting to the end of. Also, it's the summer Steam sale. So you can go and get yourself a little indie game, go and play something else for a few weeks. If this isn't fun for you, you are freed up for the summer.
Or you could go outside. Like, I'm not recommending it because there's the day style.
Yeah, I don't know that we recommend going outside because the outside here this week. Yeah, the outside this week's going to be extremely warm again. I just trying. I don't. I don't recommend the outside option, but it is permitted if that is the thing that you would like to do.
I understand that some people like to go out in the sun, and good luck to them.
I mean, even I'm telling you not to go outside, and I am an outside person. Usually I'm an outside person, and even I'm like, oh no, not this week, not this week.
Well, if you're enjoying the show, perhaps you could give us a like or post a review on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you're listening. We're hoping to try and grow our audience a bit this year. We'd love you to help us reach out to new people. We'd love you to join our Discord channel over at bit.ly/ggw-discord. You can also watch our live show on Sundays at 8 PM London time or midday Pacific over at twitch.tv/silkyraven.
Right, now we get back to our regular little correspondent in the Cassunda Chronicles. Previously, Cass was talking to his old friends and business associates about the current situation, and they were about to go off to the pub to plan their next move.
The Cassunda Chronicles, Dock Work, Part 8. Greetings and salutations, my friends. 'Tis I, Cassunda. We went to a bar, as I said, though, to be honest, it was more of a cosy nook at the back, where we talked old things. Tragar didn't join us. It was decided maybe not for best, just in case he was seen. But he has given us an address. He said he'd see us soon. So we sat, just old friends chatting in a bar, well, secretly communicating what the plans were. This is going to be a joint venture, SI7 and the Watchers. I have decided that to do something clever here, I'm not calling in all the Watchers. In fact, I'm calling only 2, plus a 3rd associate. If we go in full hit, this can be twisted. Non-humans attacking humans. So I'm calling in the human contingent. My first call was the associate, Joseph. He was at the cathedral. It surprised me he said yes straight away. After our history, I thought you'd be more reticent. He said that I had shown change. He truly believed me when he said what he'd seen, and as such he owed me for all the years he had talked about me in such hard words. Of course he would be there. My next call was to Martin, our Coltuan friend, master of beasts. He said he'd bring the old bird and a few other friends along as well. I didn't need to ask who he was bringing. Let's just say Tooth and Claw comes to mind. But for my last person, I decided to call in the big guns. Brother Morcar, High Lord of the Paladins. He is a humble, kind, generous person. A big hit with the ladies because of his looks, although he makes no attempt to make use of that. In fact, he doesn't even seem to notice when they're fawning over him. I think all those years in the monastery may have dulled his senses when it comes to the opposite sex. I should really have a word with him, but actually it's quite funny seeing the frustration on a person's face when they're pretty much throwing themselves at him and he doesn't even seem to respond and just talks to them kindly. However, you get him on the battlefield and it's a different source, especially when it comes to combating evil. I have seen him go from kindness and grace to a figure that would probably make the legions quake. He is coming. So we're going to be heading off to this gentleman, I use that term loosely of course, to his house. Now he is a leader of dock workers, but his is no humble house. Tragar told us he has another home, not one of the docks where he often goes. He has a small estate on the outside of Stormwind. This man is no humble worker for the rights of the people. He's actually quite well off. He's been siphoning off money from the dockers for some time. So we're heading there. SI7 will be going in, again, using humans only. I'm the only non-human going to be present. This way, it cannot be twisted by the cloaks. They're going to be ready. Morcar, Joseph, Martin are going to be ready. We've also called in a few other associated human members of the Watchers group. But we are heading out there now. Hopefully, the next time you hear from me, it'll be over. He will be in custody, and we'll be able to talk to him more about what's going on. I hope he knows more than my old trading partner did. Well, still does. I honestly don't think she knows much more than she told me, which is a shame, because she actually seemed quite sorry for what she was doing. But my friends, we are about to ride out. I would say wishing me luck, but it's not me that's going to need help. It's him. I'll be seeing you.
Oh, blimey. Well, we shall find out how this turns out next week, I imagine. Excuse me. Now I've been drinking this dash water really quickly. EJ,
I was going to say bubbly water.
Bubbly water. How was your week in gaming? What have you been up to?
I have leveled all my alts. Yes, they are all level 90. It's great. Yes, it's great. And because I've run so much heroic Najatal and Val, I had a bundle of field accolades. So everybody got to 90, and everybody got to go to the war bank and like take some stuff out the war bank and put a new outfit on and going, oh, this is lovely. And obviously with leveling them through, they'd actually earned some field accolades as well, so they could buy some of their own gear. So yeah, it's really, really nice. What I have learnt is what have I learnt in this leveling? Because the alts I don't play very much. I decided to engage the single button assistant to see how that made my life go. So it made DK work probably the smoothest I've ever had DK work for me, because I was like, oh, I seem to be like
DK is
killing
often
things and it's not terrible.
DK is just baffling to me.
Yes, yeah, I cannot get my head around it. I admire anybody who can. I find it very confusing. I tried the green spec and that was terrible. So then I went back to Frost and that seemed to work quite nicely. So I did that. What did I have? I had an assassination rogue. That seemed to go fine. She was pretty stable. I still think out of everybody, having leveled one of each now, and especially the ones I don't play, having used the single button, I just think the evoker is just tricky.
Okay.
I don't think, and I don't know that that's the one I found the hardest, even with the single button assistant. I just find it a very clunky pace. It's not for me.
Okay.
Even when I spec'd it correctly. The shock thing that I found, like, I enjoyed it so much, I'm sort of tempted to play this character more often. Was my demon hunter. And I spec'd it. I said to Google, I said, dear Google, what's the best spec using the single button? And all the articles came back and they said, oh, you want to spec it as Devastation, that new spec? And I went, do I? So I went and I spec'd it and I'm like, oh, I've got about 4 spells now. You know when you open up your spell book, and usually when you open up your spell book, you've got like 2 pages, like the whole screen is full of spells.
Yeah.
You do that on Devastation, you've got 1 full page and then a couple of rows, and I was like,
oh, that's quite nice.
And I kept flicking screens. I'm like, have I activated my I've activated my talents? Have I, like, did I put my spell? I'm like, fine, whatever.
Have some pages fallen out of my spellbook. Like, what's going on?
Yeah, I was really confused. But oh my god, it was so much fun. Once I remembered that I can play it like it's one of these you're supposed to play it sort of like mid-range.
Right.
So like fit in my mid-core. And then I was like, oh yeah. So actually I could stand miles away and do stuff. And then when the stuff got closer, I could still do stuff. I had an absolute hoot. I enjoyed it so much. My demon hunter is a night elf, of course she is. So, and she had a great transmog, so she looked amazing. And then having a lot of fun, could take down like more than one thing at one time. Surprising, unexpected big hit. And also some of the devastation spells just look, there's this thing you turn now. This is where I don't really know what I'm doing, but I press a button and they turn into an actual blue demon.
Right.
And then I spit blue like demon fire in front of me whilst hovering off the ground, and you look so fucking cool doing it. And I was like, this is all right.
All right.
And then a couple of times I'd be somewhere and there'd be me and another demon hunter, so we'd both be doing this and just
Right,
murdering
okay.
things, and
Yeah,
it was
great.
just so if you're looking for something new to try, like, go and try a Devastation demon hunter. It was the biznay. I really enjoyed it. She was just melting things. It was so good. So yeah, that was the big hit this week. So yeah, that's the thing I wanted to get done, because then it meant I could sort of when you just get sort of like, this is the thing I need to achieve.
Yeah.
And I finished the rogue last night. So yeah, is there anybody I didn't enjoy leveling? Oh, I had more fun on my monk than I've had previously as well. So I had a monk.
Okay.
Really enjoyed the monk. Potentially might think occasionally about playing the monk. Yeah, just the evoker. I don't think there was anybody else I disliked playing.
Okay. Well, that's good.
Yeah. Like, and I said, it's probably the best time I've had on a death knight. So yeah.
Oh, two thumbs up for the one button.
Yeah, thanks Blizzard for the single. Yeah, I'm a big fan. I think it's great if it gives people the opportunity to try something different. And I think the great thing about it is now, like, I'm sort of now, while we're talking, thinking about the demon hunter and going, well, I could like actually go and read those spells and find out what they do and try and work out how to do this without the button.
Yeah.
And it's like a try before you buy sort of thing. You'll be like, do I like this? Does this feel all right?
Yes, here's your sort of 72 hour no credit card required.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's what it is. And also, like, there are some days where actually what you want to be doing is like watching the thing that's on your second screen. So if you can just press one button, and I have to say, I don't just press. If I just pull it down one button onto my number, like, my finger gets tired very quickly.
Yeah.
So what I actually do is I pull down the single button onto like my first 3 or 4 buttons.
Right. Okay.
And I rotate through them. Because I found if you just for me, if I just use my one finger, gets tired very quickly.
Okay.
And I'm like, ow, this hurts. My one button hurts. So yes, my one button is actually the same button 3 or 4 times.
Oh dear.
And then I feel like I'm not really doing a rotation, but I'm just exercising all my fingers.
But you're exercising all of your fingers equally. Okay, there we go.
That's my top tip.
Okay.
So yeah, so I've done that. My next plan of action is like, everything is sort of up to date with achievements. Like, I as far as I can, because there's a couple of story beats still to drop in both Nudgetal and Val. So
Yes.
so now my next thing to do is I'm going to go and I'm going to do the things that we talked about earlier that I haven't yet done.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to the Zul'Jan story this week. And I really want to go and collect all the decor that I haven't got. And I think we're getting to the point where actually I need to sit down and work out what materials I need for making all of the new profession housing decor things.
Right.
I think I've got to the point where I've bought all the recipes now. Although, having said that, I've got a feeling that they're making some changes to how many materials you need for some of those. So I might go and read up about what's coming in the future. Oh no. Yeah. Especially not if I go out and farm like 47,000 bits of lumber and then discover I only need 3. That would be
very, very annoying. Yeah.
So I need to go and do some reading this week. So that's my plan. How about yourself? Because I've seen you online. Like, the guild achievements were flying past today.
Yes. So I have been online a little bit this week, having been essentially off for a couple of weeks whilst it was just too hot. I have caught up a little bit with the patch because I hadn't really played any, so I'm up to date with my omnomnomnomnom folio. And I did a ritual site, and I did some void assaults, and all of those kinds of things. And I went and did a party because I was very almost exhausted with the Silver Moon people. So now I'm exhausted with the Silver Moon people. And I finished that Harandar Legends, except I've got to go back and redo one because I didn't pick up one of the books because I didn't realise it ended really abruptly and I didn't realise it was going to do that. So I need to go back and redo one of the Legends in order to pick up a book, and then that achievement will have been done. Yeah, so then I went to Najatal and had a slightly confusing afternoon in Najatal. There's just quite a lot of, like, you finish something and then somebody else is like, oh, we have a bunch more quests, just by the way. And you're like, oh, okay, all right. Well, why did you not give me all of the quests at the same time? It's like, well, I don't know, but we didn't. So here's some more. Okay. I also don't particularly like that you're like, so Decimus has a like weekly quest. And you're like, cool, I'll do your weekly quest. And then the other woman who's standing there is
the Rift Lady.
Yeah, the Rift Lady. She's like, then she has a weekly quest, but you can't do her weekly quest at the same time as you're doing his weekly quest. And I was like, okay, fine, I'll kill some rares. That's cool. And then when you finish that, she's like, I've got another one. And you're like,
Thanks.
I don't think I want another one, actually. I feel like I'm actually kind of all right. But thanks. And then today I went back and did some delves, which is where most of the achievements came from. I opened up my delve achievement panel and realised that there was one delve that for some reason I hadn't ever really done. So like a whole load of my achievements were like, so all of the achievements for doing thing on a tier 4 or doing it on a tier 8, like they weren't tipped over because I hadn't done this one, the Gulf of Memory. It's like a funny little one that's like in Haranir.
It's sort of slightly hidden. It's hidden down.
It's like downstairs. Yeah. And it's obviously I've never, because I usually just do whatever bountiful delves are, so I've obviously just not happened to look at a moment when they were bountiful. I don't know. So I did that and I got about 6 achievements for actually doing that. And then there was a couple that I hadn't done on 8. So that ticked over the like having done everything on a 4, and then I hadn't quite done everything on an 8, and I realised that I hadn't done the Twilight Crypt somehow on an 8. And I like that one, so I don't know why I hadn't done it on an 8.
That's one of the best ones.
I know. I just, to be honest, I'm not that well geared, so I just don't think I've been doing them. I just haven't been playing that much, to be honest. But so I went into that one, and today it was the one where there's a like really confused creature that might run you over, and you have to take an invisibility pot if you're going to go anywhere near it. Which I just think is really funny. I also think it's really funny when you get to the end and it becomes like the end of that stage, and it obviously gets released from its curse, and it just sort of stops and it like looks around in a really like, oh, and then it just despawns. You're like, okay, all right.
No, have you not? No, you get a little tiny green version that follows you.
Oh, does he? Oh, I didn't notice that.
There's a really cute little like green one that just toddles. I don't know if he buffs you or anything, but you get this little green version that toddles around after you.
Oh, I didn't notice that. So I was too busy being murdered by something. I also hadn't done the Parhelion Plaza on an 8, and I was like, well, I know why I haven't done that on an 8, but I did manage to do it, and I can now, because I'm like 266 now, so I could do it on an 8 reasonably comfortably. I haven't actually done anything on an 11, so I need to start working through delves on 11s is my next task. I've got a couple of items of champion gear still, so I need to get rid of those. I think there's a fly in my bedroom.
Is that what she's stalking?
I just assume that's what the cat is looking at. Either that or a bird is about to come flying in through the window. That would be fun. Let's hope that's not going to happen. The window is basically above where the camera is. So I just caught up on some stuff, and I feel reasonably well caught up, I think. Which is nice. I've got, what did we do outside game? So we couldn't do raiding on Thursday because there just weren't that many people around. So I don't know if that's, and this week it's going to be 33 on Thursday. So I don't think that's going to be a suitable gaming night, which is a bit of a shame. I think it might be a little bit difficult to get people together to do Lura. So maybe I'll try and find a time to do a bit like that's a bit more in advance and ask people to kind of specifically come along so we can just try and finish it off. Yeah. Then we had a little Blades in the Dark. We had a sort of session 01. So we've done like Baby's First Heist, and we had a little bit of a session just to do a bit of feedback and to think about where we were going to go, and so I could get a bit of a steer on sort of what sort of content people want in that campaign. So we did that on Monday night, which I thought was really helpful, and I need to now go and work out what that looks like. So that's my job for next weekend, when I shall be lying around not moving very much because it's going to be 33 degrees on Saturday as well, so that's exciting. Another heat wave coming for the UK this week, just in time. I also think, isn't it the football's on at some stupid time?
Like football's happening tonight,
but not until like 1 a.m.
Yeah,
it's happening at like 1 a.m. in Mexico City. It's not in. I think it's in Mexico City. I don't.
Football England.
Because there was a big controversy about the pubs.
Both really
it was a big controversy about the pubs staying open.
Yes, they're playing Mexico at 1 a.m.
Right. Okay.
Our time, which will be like hopefully a more sensible time where they
are. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm expecting that to be quite noisy. Potentially, or maybe not very noisy. Maybe it won't be very noisy at all. Nobody will stay up, or it'll be really disappointing. I don't honestly think England are going to do very well. We're not very good at sports ball, but anyway, we'll see. So yeah, lots going on in England at the moment. Let's hear what everybody else has been up to.
Hello, Raven and EJ. This is Salmis, the alchemical rogue, reporting in for my week in WoW. Friends and family helped each other find the quests for our Omnium runes. We completed a Tier 2 ritual site and our 5 Void Strikes as a group. Then we had a house party to complete the housewarming quest. Ritual healing took a few more tries on heroic Voidzilla. We're definitely getting closer, just a little more gear and we'll bag us a kaiju. Thanks to the new zones and their fairly rapid turnover of world quests and objectives, I earned enough field accolades to purchase a hero replacement for the last champion gear piece I needed. I've started using Nagtel to continue leveling my Demon Hunter tank. The normal version offers a good level of challenge. It allows me to round up mobs and let others nearby help kill them to complete the world quests. Each world quest there gives me a decent amount of XP, a piece of gear with an incremental upgrade, and a few field accolades to start working towards some better gear I can use once I reach level 90. Thank you all. Salmus out.
Oh, nice productive week for Salmus there. Marie has spent a lot of time this week. In hospitals this week. As Kay has started his chemo. Oh, I hope that's all going well. But has managed a little WoW, Collector's Cove, and after trying a few things, has also started I Am Future, a solar punk survival crafting game.
Sounds awesome. I'm looking forward to updates on that.
Yeah. She would also like to have time to complete some Fire Festival stuff, but isn't sure she will.
Cheryl started working on old Zandalari recipes and transmogs from Zul'Gurub, following a guide. Team Rexual Healing ran some delves and killed heroic Godzilla this week, despite both tanks and one heals getting yeeted over the edge.
Oh no!
I mean, they got their achievements, I hope.
Yeah.
And Marie says the chemo's going well. Good. That is good news.
Good.
They are also playing For the King on the Switch, an overworld roguelike, and some Assassin's Creed 3, which they're struggling with as the main character is half Iroquois, half white, and is set in colonial US.
Oh.
Yeah, that might be.
Yeah,
that might not be
a little bit on the nose right now.
Easiest. Yeah.
AMS has made more progress on the Midnight Meta achievements, did 5 time walking dungeons, Sporefall and some Midsummer Festival farming. He just needs one more campaign section for the Night Fae campaign, working on this in downtime between trips to Val and Najatal Heroic. He's thinking about finding time to do Skyreach and the Academy Mythic Plus for the portals. He's also looted the item to get the Void Corrupted Links made.
Oh, my leatherworker has the recipe for that. The recipe dropped out of a ritual site. So if you need somebody to make that, I can do that. Pastor Matt has run Ahun a few times and done his time walking dungeons for this week. He's mostly been playing Crimson Desert and is getting used to driving with a controller, having only previously done this in Cyberpunk 2077.
Good luck. Trey has got the Paladin to level 90, bounced all over the place to collect flowers for the event and filled the slots in the vault. Not a fan of the new zones because he can't fly.
I mean, you can fling yourself off a mushroom,
Yeah,
Trey.
I mean, yeah, what more do you want?
And finally, Corin Wolf has got 2 more characters to 90 this week, bringing his total to 6, which includes a second Paladin tank, claiming that it is our fault because we opened up our guild. In a surprise move, it's a dwarf paladin with a hamster-themed name. And will be a spare for those times Corin is locked out of content.
Gosh, we are just to blame for everything this week. There we go.
Yeah, it's our fault. I'm quite happy for that to be our fault.
Yeah. I was doing my choir concert yesterday, and to the rehearsal yesterday afternoon, I wore my Extraordinary League of Gophers t-shirt from the
Discworld.
2014 Discworld convention, and I had to explain it to about 9 people.
Yeah, that's the only thing with some of those Discworld t-shirts. You're like, okay, sit down.
Yeah. There we go. Well, thank you very much for joining us this week, everyone. If you want to get in touch, the best place is to find us on Discord at bit.ly/ggw-discord. Also, we would love it if you would drop us a follow over on Blue Sky or YouTube at GGW Show. Remember, if you've enjoyed the show, drop us a like or a follow or a little review on the platform of your choice to help other people find us too.
Next week, patch 12.1 is on the horizon. So we are finally going to have a look about what's in store for us and to find out what you're excited about. So EJ does her homework again this week.
Thank you very much for listening this and every week, and we will speak to you in 7 days. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.